still Sunday morning. Just figured I'd give you a little heads up. Not surprisingly, I didn't stick with my game plan. And I was so excited about that asparagus bed, how great the chips, how fabulous they were after 1 year. I came down and had to move some chips. So, let me just give you a really quick update, and then I finally have to get back to my schedule, for crying out loud. That's the asparagus bed. We'll start there. You saw this already. I showed you how great. Well, you didn't see this, actually. I added new chips. And that's a pretty good layer, although you can still see some tops to the asparagus. So I don't think I've overdone it. Okay? That's the asparagus bed. Nice, thick bunch of chips. Oh, back in here, that's near the bushes. Piled up some chips. Cut a little bed earlier this year. Just grew sunflowers. Didn't really do well because I put too many in there and they didn't hold the moisture. Now I got a lot of chips. There'll be good soil there next year. Here's a bed that, again, this is where I put my zucchini and there's some zucchini and some summer squash. Very disappointing, mostly because of dry soil, but I had a whole bunch of sunflowers planted in there among them, and I think they really sucked the moisture. Nevertheless, you can see how thick that is. That is layered. I've been working on this, but I just added about 4 inches of chips to the top of that. A lot of grass clippings underneath and different compost. This is the raspberry bed here. Okay. Give you a little, pardon my shadow, but that's the raspberry bed all the way down to the beehives. Nice, nice and level, nice thick load of chips. I'm gonna do a bunch of things. One, gonna keep the moisture in there better next year than this year. Two, keep the weeds down. I had very few weeds this year, I'll tell you, because I put chips on this spring. You'll remember I duked this up this spring pretty good. And I had very few weeds. And next year I'll have even fewer. Alright, see this black plastic? I'll tell you what I'm going to do with that in a minute. But let me just give you a little... So this is walking on the north side of the garden. Here's that old pumpkin patch. I had Roma tomatoes here before. Next year I think I go back to tomatoes here. Really built up very high. Nice and level. And I think in springtime I won't excavate the whole thing. I'll just keep the chips where they are. Make a little depression down the middle for watering, and I'll just plant down until I get to the beginning of the soil there. So here's my little pathway up toward the road where I had chips put in a couple years ago, and you can see that's where I've been digging them out from, and I still have a darn good pile of chips here, which is a good thing because I've decided, come on back down here. Now we're heading back toward the garden, looking down from Pine Meadow. So what I'm going to do this fall, after we get a killing frost, what remaining chips I have, I want to pick up this plastic. I'm going to get rid of all the pepper plants, stakes, pick up the plastic, and what remaining chips are going to go down there. And you know, this soil here naturally is not particularly good. It's kind of clay, not a lot of organic material. With that black plastic on there, you know, it's not getting any additional organic material at all. You know, I don't have grass clippings coming in there, dead leaves or anything. So this fall, when everything's done and we get a hard freeze, everything comes up, and I'm going to put, say, 4 inches of that down. I might put the plastic right down on top, or I might leave it off for the season and let the winter. We'll see. And then lastly, if I have any leftover chips, I may experiment and just take one of these beds, maybe that one back there, and just top dress it this fall with chips. Cut a new edge, top dress it really thick with chips, and simply just leave them there. Or maybe this bed up here for kale. You know, and just leave the chips there, and then when it comes time to plant the plants in the spring, just push the chips aside a little bit, find some soil and plant. And not only will that keep moisture in, it'll keep weeds completely down, and in a couple years time it'll just be the best planting medium you could ever get, which is what my soil needs. Anyway, that's it. I'm already exhausted and it's only noontime. Now I've got to get back to my regularly scheduled chores. I got to go cut the grass, plant some seed, do some bee stuff, and who knows, maybe I'll get back to move some more chips before dark. Bye-bye.